In this video, we're going to have a quick review over the transformation. Now recall, exponential function, the trouble in the power. So, when we talk about the transformation, recall what we said about outside, inside, outside, inside. The way for me to separate it is everything outside. That will be belongs to my y value. That will be vertical, okay? Now, inside, as you can see, I would like to see the parenthesis. And this is all about my x value, left to right horizontally. Make sure something we mentioned about the y and the x kind of like a twist, right? So you're going to make sure use the information to help you guide through. So as you can see, they would love us to talk about the transformation. So giving you the parents function, you know that all about the base. It will be an exponential function because the power is in trouble. Now, outside, inside, outside, inside. The x control horizontally. So the parenthesis tells me to the right 4 unit, okay? Do not overthink. Now, A. You do see an outside 3, so that will become the outside y, and that will be a vertical stretch. And that's what we mentioned about the eagle eye. Now, outside, inside, outside, inside. The x is my inside. When I have a parenthesis, you know that, ooh, I see more. The negative you see is inside my parenthesis, so that tells me it will be a reflect over the y-axis, which will be left and right flip, okay? Now, you also see such thing. It is the inside the parenthesis. Something belongs to my x. Now, this will be activate your eagle eye. That cause it's a shrink. It's a shrink inside the parenthesis, okay? Now, same thing as number 9. Do not overthink. All about the base. My base is E. E just a number, okay? All we care about is the outside, inside. So everybody know that 1/3 is totally outside. So that will be a vertical shrink, okay? But inside the parenthesis, you do know that inside the parenthesis, that will be to the left. All right, so the same thing as you can see, the parents function, okay? Now, I see the outside 4, I see inside 2, and I also see outside 3. So therefore, that's what we mentioned about cool about the notes. All right. I do want to talk about the number 11 to 12 because when you guys ask me, how do you know? Well, when you do so many times, you kind of have a feeling, okay? And behavior, what to the left, to the right, eventually the function it is. I do know that you guys complain about the denominator. Hey, denominator is cool. So 0.5 just tells me it's 1/2, right? Raised to a power x. Recall, the x is a power, I had to share to the bottom, share to the top. So think about 1 to any power still be 1, right? So 1, you get 1 giant pizza shared by so many people. Now think about my x value. If my x value getting bigger and bigger, eventually this entire thing will become 0, kind of like the pizza thing we mentioned about with sharing, right? So this will become a 0. 3 times 0 is 0. And then what do you left? 1 plus 0 is 0. So the limit of my function, as you can see, 14/1. My biggest number you can go just be 14, okay? So we mentioned about when there is a picture, the answer is in the picture. Now, once again, I do want to emphasize the end behavior as we talk about to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. So when x gets more and more negative infinities to the left, what will be my picture to the left? You know that it gets closer and closer to 0, okay? To the right. So when x gets more and more positive to the right, what will see my picture? The biggest number you can see will be 14. That comes from the limit of the function. Good. The same thing of the ouch. Ow, it disappeared. Oh my gosh. Okay, but we are still awesome, so we can continue. The same thing as what we mentioned about the picture. And you can plug in the value to indicate, remember, x it's a number we can plug it in, so therefore you can check it out by simply plugging the x value into the function and get the answer. And that's what I want you guys to recall the definition about the end behavior to the left, to the right. Okay, now as we mentioned about exponential function, the trouble is in the power trap dx. I do want to call it out. You have a two style. One is called the growth, increasing. The base had to be a number bigger than 1, so you will see it's a growth, getting taller and taller, okay? The other one will be the decay. Now activate your eagle eye, all about the base. My base will become a fraction. That's all I want you to recall. Positive, okay? So 1 over 2, 1 over 5, 1 over 10, those will be a fraction. That means this information. Now, domain and range, same thing, seeing is believing. Everybody know that I do have a y-intercept, which tells me when x equal to 0, my y must be 1. When x equal to 0, my y must equal to 1. I got to emphasize this point here, okay? Now, when you grab this one, you can compare about this definition to analyze this function. I will encourage you to try to make this picture talk to you because that will be fun. And only when we have the definition, then we can say that, hey, it is fun. When there is a picture, the answer is in the picture. So for me, as a classroom note, make sure exponential function, the trouble is in the power. And that is my x, okay? Only two picture. One is called growth, growing up. One is called decay. How do I tell the difference? All about the base. When my base is positive, okay, bigger than 1, that will be a growth. When my base is a fraction, less than 1, positive, okay, and that will be a decay. Good. And that's all. Hope you have fun with the exponential function. And that's it, all about the base.